A lot of you know I teach communication classes, so I'm going to focus a little bit more about leadership for millennials and who you are, how we got to be who we are, but then I think what's more important, how we're going to fix that. And I think that's a big challenge for you guys as leaders to take back to your groups. Just so you know, a millennial has a lot of different definitions, but most that I found is someone born after the year 1984. Okay? A lot of my ideas come from a leadership expert and writer named Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, if you want to read up more about things that you hear from me. So, poor qualities labeled for millennials. What are you guys called? Hard to manage, entitled, narcissistic, unfocused, lazy. Right? Those words don't sit well, do they? They don't sit well. The question is why? Why aren't millennials ever truly satisfied? Or, better yet, how did we get here? So I'm going to talk about some of the reasons we got here. Maybe that can help us solve some problems. One, older people's fault. Right? Yeah. Mom and dad, parenting. We blame them. But it's accurate. Two, technology. Technology. So millennial is a label for people born after 1984, but you'll find in the technology trend, everyone is a victim to technology. Three, impatience. Whatever happened to patience? All right. Four, your environment. So those are some reasons. So we'll talk about those. Parenting. Millennials are victims of bad parenting practices. You were told you were special your whole life. You still feel that way. That's good. You could have anything you want just because you want it. Not because you did anything. You want that? You got it, buddy. You can have anything you want. Right? And we've all heard the third one, right? Participation medals. Come in last place, you get a prize. But what's the science here? What's the science? Well, that devalues the award for the person that worked the hardest. And for the person that actually put in the time, that everyone gets rewarded. So there's almost an adverse effect. It's what we're really trying to accomplish. So what you might not have thought, it can then embarrass that last place person, making finishing last even worse psychologically. And when you got to college, you might have found a little bit of reality in that as well. You're not a star on your athletic team anymore. Right? You're not even a starter. You don't get A's in every class anymore. It's harder. Actually, I have to work a little bit harder. I don't get awarded for finishing last in my class or on my team. I don't even get a ribbon sometimes. And you find out you can't earn something just from wanting it. Obviously, these revelations that are happening to you now will carry on into the workplace. Right? It doesn't end. Has anyone heard of FOLO? F-O-L-O. What does it mean? Anyone? A lot of us suffer from it. It's the fear of losing out. That we're going to miss something. Something is going to happen on our Twitter feed that we're going to miss. I have this fear. That's why I got to get back on, guys. Something could have happened in the last 30 seconds. We're all victim to it. Now, your generation invented the idea to portray your life as amazing as possible. Right? Relationship goals. Check out this picture. Cheetos, dude on the couch, Netflix, life goals. Life goals. Right? Where is this coming from? In reality, that person could be unhappy. That person could be depressed. But darn it, they're going to try to keep up and try to make their life as best as they can on Instagram, on Facebook, and they're going to compete as hard as they can in that competition for who has the best fake happy life. Right? So we portray toughness, and we portray confidence through our social media. And when someone of authority asks us, what should we do? We say, we should do this, but we really don't know what the hell we're talking about. Right? Because we've been taught to fake it. So technology, using our cell phones, releases dopamine, Psychology Today says dopamine is a neurotransmitter that helps control the brain's reward and pleasure centers. So you get a like on Twitter. Does that make you feel good? Yeah, it does. I got 3 retweets today. 3 retweets. Right? It goes farther. You get a text to your phone, boom, dopamine. You're feeling good. Someone texted me. They like me. Right? In a 2012 Harvard study, researchers found talking about oneself through media activates a pleasure sensation in the brain that has typically been set off by things like food, money, and sex. And that's how powerful social media and technology has become to us. It has become addictive. All right? So what do we do when we feel lonely or we feel down? Just pick up my phone. I'm going to send out about 10 texts. See who texts me back. Come on, I'm bored. Fake selfie, Snapchat, you name it. And we hope that somebody talks to us. Because then, boom, we feel good about ourselves again. Right? We cast that line out and get rid of the boredom. So all we're trying to do is make ourselves feel better. We almost rely on it on a daily basis. Did you know people who spend more time on Facebook are more likely to suffer from depression? That's according to the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology. Well, we all have the addiction. I have it, right? We're at a group. We're with a group of friends at dinner. Some of us are on our phones, right? Why? What are you doing? You're at dinner with these people. You chose to be with these people. Talk to these people, right? It costs time. It costs money. Could cost worse. Impatience. We live in the world of instant gratification. You want something? Go to Amazon and buy it. It's there the next day. You want to listen to your favorite song? YouTube, right? You want to watch a TV show? Binge it up. Right? Now, back in the day, we used to have to wait a week before we watched the next show. A whole week. Now you guys I'm through a season in like 7 hours. Please tell me none of you have skipped episodes of a season because you knew it was like a longer season, so you wanted to get ahead a little bit so you could finish season 3. So you skipped episodes 14 through 18 just to get to 19. I hope we don't do that. All right? But impatience, right? Impatience. Dating, Tinder. All right? Skip the awkwardness of actually talking to somebody in person. Just get right to it. So what's happening there? What's the breakdown with impatience? We're not developing the proper relationships. There's no shortcut. There's no life hack. It takes time. It takes practice to be good at building relationships, and it takes failure. The last one is environment. Sometimes we're put in an environment that mimics traits that millennials have that are failing. Instead of encouraging patience, we are in environments that encourage impatience. And so you can't have your environment encourage impatience. So to wrap things up, I want to give you the solutions. How do we fix it? Number 1, in your groups that you're going back to from this day, create social environments. And I mean social by looking at someone and talking to them. So if you have a meeting, you create a no cell phone rule. It's very simple. You're only in that meeting for a certain amount of time. No cell phones. Okay? It seems silly, but I'm telling you it'll go a long way. Right? That's a supreme time to get to know each other right before a meeting starts. You can actually talk to someone about how their day is going and how their family is. It's a short time to disconnect, but it could make a big impact in you building relationships. That's 1. Number 2, foster construction of relationships. That's your job as a leader, to foster the construction. Be a foreman. Take the lead on this. If your group is Christian-based, can I suggest a faith circle where you get together and actually pray for things before a meeting starts? And that can go on to any group on campus. Right? That's something that our team does for soccer. And then you're sharing concerns and you're getting to know each other. Right? And knowing about each other helps us develop deeper relationships that mean more. Nothing superficial. Okay? Reward hard work in your groups. Not everyone. Reward someone in your group. How many of you have awards in your groups already for hard work? Not enough. Okay? What do you have in place that says this person's been doing their job for our group for the last week or 2? Let's reward them. Create that. That's your job. Right? Create that. Number 3, be a process person. All right? Process people are the ones that really take down impatience. A question that I like to ask all the incoming coaches that are interviewing for a possible job at our college, I ask, in a competition or game, right? In a game situation, would you rather perform well and lose or perform poorly and win? Right? Ask yourself that question. Would you rather perform well and lose or perform poorly and win? Now, my athletic director previous to the one we have here told me there's no right answer to that question. And he's right, except for me, a process person is going to have better results in the end. Right? It's not about getting things done now. It's about making everything better later. And so that's a big part of it. So ask yourself that. A couple other things. Number 4, discuss failure. It's okay. If your group's not doing well, have the guts to discuss it and say, hey, we got to change something. Discuss failure. We're not all perfect, and rather than live in a dream world, let's have these discussions. And finally, last thing I'll leave you with, no need to compare, just compete. So what that means is don't compare to how good you're doing compared to this other sorority or compared to this other group, right? Just compete. Be the best that you can be, right? Get rid of the outside distractions and just focus on the inside actions. Okay? So those are my takeaways for today. I hope you got something out of it, and I wish you the best of luck with your group.